It's Blue Murder right here on your Classic Metal Show from the self-titled debut release with The Valley of the Kings. And just before that, we heard Dokken from The Long Way Home, released with Sunless Days. And Mr. Aiken, what do you make of this worldwide, I don't know what you want to call it, sensitivity to perceived racism?
What do I make of it?
Yeah, I mean, what do you think is driving the rise of this outrage and everything is racist, and you know, and it's not just here in this country. Apparently, it's happening in other countries as well. Mm-hmm. What do you perceive as the driver behind this?
Attention. It's just attention. Well, it's attention, and it's the fucking left's quest for a lawless society, really. They don't want to fucking have any more standards. No standards on anything. So they every time you try to hold anybody to a standard, the easiest... People are afraid to be being called a racist, so that's the easiest out. Instead of... I'll use Michael Brown as an example. Instead of saying, this was an asshole that was fucking robbing a store and then, you know... trying to fuck with a cop, you know, they say this poor black man was shot by a white cop.
No, don't forget the gentle giant part.
The gentle giant, but I mean that's what they do. Is it's an easy way to take. It's a super easy way to take to allow lawlessness, because you basically. I mean, what can you do right now? I'm just using black people as an agenda, but it could be anybody. I mean, what can you do to a black guy these days? Nothing. Can't say nothing about what they do. Can't hold them accountable for anything they do. You know, you just have to deal with it. You just have to accept it. Cops can't do nothing. Every time a cop does something, they're under investigation or riots or fired or whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, it's the quest for lawlessness. That's my opinion, I guess.
Mm. Well, anyway, over in Great Britain. Mm-hmm. I guess they have a TV show over there, just kind of like Good Morning America. Mm-hmm. I guess they have a morning show over there called Good Morning Britain.
Okay.
I think that's what it is.
All right.
So apparently a guest, I guess the host of this, mm-hmm. her name is Kate Garraway.
Okay.
So she orders a guest to remove his quote-unquote racist puppet during a Punch and Judy band debate. I guess Punch and Judy is like a puppet show. I guess it's kind of like, maybe you might remember this, you may not. Kukla, Fran, and Ollie.
Remember the name, but it's a little before me.
Also, remember, maybe you might remember this, maybe not. There was puppets were like really popular back in the 60s and the 70s, like kids puppet shows.
Sure.
Like on TV. I think Sherry Lewis had Lamb Chop.
Oh, I remember Lamb Chop and Madam and
Yeah. So that was kind of a popular thing.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, this Kate Garraway, this host of this Good Morning Britain, mm-hmm. Asked an entertainer, Brian Llewellyn, to put away his black puppet. Llewellyn went on Good Morning Britain to defend traditional Punch and Judy puppet shows.
Okay.
Garraway said she was uncomfortable with a puppet that was likened to a black and white minstrel. A puppet.
She's upset about a puppet.
Yes.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. And maybe you're going to get to this or maybe not. Did she not know of the booking?
I'm sure she did.
I mean, does this guy normally have like a regular puppet and just showed up with a, well, Lordy be puppet?
Well, I think that this puppet that he brought on the show was probably part of the controversy of their ban. And so he brought it on the show with him to discuss the ban on this puppet show thing.
Yeah.
And she wanted him to put it away because it made her uncomfortable.
Well, Jesus Christ, why don't you tuck those tits away? Because I keep staring at them, too. fucking dumb whore.
So you looking at photos of Kate Garraway?
Yeah, I see her. But I mean, honestly, her tits are distracting. She's got a nice set of titties. That's her. Is that her? I'm looking at Good Morning Britain. It seems like both girls are pretty hot.
Yeah. But, see, you're falling into the whole thing that we talked about last segment about being attracted to good-looking chicks.
Dude, what's that girl's name on the NFL? The real ugly one. Candace something?
Don't remember.
I forget what her... Candace Banfield or something. Or maybe she's on CNN. I don't remember what is her name. Ugly CNN chick. I'll bet it comes up. Oh, no, a lot of ugly ones did, but not her.
A lot of ugly ones did.
I can't remember her name, but CNN, this is back. Wasn't Megyn Kelly was on CNN, right, at some point?
Megyn Kelly?
Or no. Who was on CNN? CNN had like a bunch of decent looking chicks, and then they had the one ugly chick that was like fat, but she was like the serious reporter.
I had no idea.
And I was always like, I couldn't watch any of her stories because she was the fat, ugly reporter. So I didn't care that she was under attack in fucking Afghanistan or something. She was the fat, ugly reporter. I was just happy they sent her instead of the good-looking ones. Because she might get killed. Sorry, dude, every one of these stories I have the same reaction. I'm going to be me. I don't give a shit what society wants.
Well, that's kind of where I'm going, and I think a lot of people have the same attitude.
Yeah. There it is, Candy Crowley. Exactly right. That's it. Look her up.
Candy Crowley?
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Yeah. Look at her. Ugh.
Was it Candy or I?
Yep. It came up 80 pictures of her when I did it Candy. Candy Crowley. Man, she's horrible.
All right. Oh.
That's what I'm saying. She's horrible.
Ouch.
She's absolutely horrible. She makes you want to watch Wolf.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, she's distracting in a terrible way.
Yeah.
So when you see her, do you care what the story is? Or you're like, let's get to somebody hotter than this.
Right.
Let's get to some footage of a shooting or something because I can't stand looking at her. Horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, that would keep my attention for less than 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's one way to fucking erase an erection.
I mean, I don't watch CNN to begin with, but
did you ever? See, I'm curious. Did you ever?
Have I seen CNN?
I don't mean like that. I mean, was that ever your channel?
No, never.
See, it was mine for the longest time.
Never.
9/11, like up through about 2004, I was only watching CNN. And honestly, didn't even realize that I was being fucking mind fucked by them. But then in I don't remember what it was, 2004 or 5, I switched over to Fox and was like, okay, well, this is a different slant completely. And that's when I started watching all of them just to see how they would tell the same story in completely different fashions. It's totally fucking funny.
Ouch. Looking at that. Wow.
Yeah, she's not a pretty girl. That's for damn sure.
Not at all.
Yeah, can you imagine her going, and today on the stock market?
No.
How long would you watch that?
Not very long.
That's what I'm saying. But they were trying their best to fucking force feed you an ugly chick. She's a pig.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, anyway, this Kate Garraway asked a guest to put away a puppet that was likened to a black and white minstrel as she felt uncomfortable having it on Good Morning Britain.
All right, now I'm looking at the puppet. That's pretty fucking... I could see that sitting right on top of your lawn jockey there. Jesus Christ, that is really... I get it. I get why she wouldn't want that, but I mean, she invited the guy on.
She did. Or the producers did, one way or the other.
Yeah, well, then she's got to suck it up.
Unless, of course, that was a shtick that they already had pre-planned that said, well, when he comes out to discuss the reason why he doesn't feel that this is, racially insensitive, I'm going to act all indignant, and I'm going to say, you need to put that away.
Right. I'll tell you what's funny. I'm looking at several pictures of the black chick that's sitting next to the guy with the, with the racist doll here, and she doesn't look that upset.
Not at all.
She seems okay with it. That's not her. That's not Garraway, is it?
No. That's Punch and Judy.
Oh, okay. Garraway's this white chick.
She's the host of the show, yeah.
White chick, probably in her 50s.
Yeah.
Pretty decent looking for 50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm caught up now.
Children entertainer Brian Llewellyn appeared on the program to defend traditional Punch and Judy puppet shows, which have been criticized for promoting violence.
Okay.
Now, if you watched any of the old children's TV shows,
yeah,
they had different puppet characters on there, and I distinctly remember where they had like an old lady puppet. I don't remember what her name was, and she would like often take out like a club or something, and she would like crack somebody on the head with it.
Right? Wasn't that Madeline?
It could have been
with the big balls on the chin thing.
Could have been.
Yeah, I think that was Madeline.
Madeline or Madam or something like that. In the midst of the heated discussion, Garraway became increasingly bothered by one of Llewellyn's puppets that had a dark face, white eyes, and lips. She was bothered by it.
Is bothered. Oh, yes, Madam. You're right.
Madam. Mr. Llewellyn explained that the puppet has been a character since 1662. TV presenter Trisha Goddard, who was also a guest on the segment, replied, "So were black and white minstrels." Mr. Llewellyn shot back, "You say it's a minstrel, I say it's a black singer." Goddard then asked, why has he got white around his mouth? Why don't you take that away?
Because he swallowed a load of jizz, just like you earlier this morning.
Mr. Llewellyn attempted to explain, saying, it's like, why doesn't Mr. Punch have a red nose? It was just paint. Garraway jumped in and said that the black puppet was offensive to many people.
Well, then don't invite him on your show, you dumb bitch.
Right. Adding it was a waste of time explaining the history of the argument, which we now feel is racist.
Maybe you do. We don't all. Just you do. And I got news for Miss what's her name? Garraway here?
Yeah, Garraway.
Back in the early days of news, like just before this generation of fucking idiots, the news was out there to present ideas and then people made their own decisions. It wasn't pre-packaged fucking ideas for people.
Right.
People would just hear both sides of an argument, make their own decision. Now it's like, well, you can't say that because we think it's bad.
Right.
Fuck off. Oh my God.
Well, here's the tell right here.
Mm-hmm.
Just this line. It's a waste of time explaining the history of the argument because we don't like it.
Yeah. I'm not going to entertain that you might have some factual stuff to it.
No, because it's how we feel today.
You're just wrong. That's what I feel.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Llewellyn said that it's only the last couple of weeks that this has actually been mentioned to him.
Okay.
Garraway cut him off and says, "Can I just say, Brian, it's actually making me feel," here we go again with the whole feel, slightly uncomfortable you having it there. If you don't mind putting it away.
Yeah, I do mind. Go take an aspirin or a Midol, you bitch. Shut up. You invited me on to talk about these fucking puppets. This is my puppet. Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's what you should have said. He should have said, yeah, I do mind. Don't you think?
I would say that.
That should have been his answer was, yeah, I do mind.
I don't think he just came on the show on his own. He was probably invited.
Yeah, you wasted my time coming down here. Now you're going to tell me I can't come down. I can't talk about the subject that you brought me down here for? Fuck you. Go to commercial then, bitch, because I'm keeping him. Hold it right up to the camera.
She added, I don't think it's right that we should have it on the show.
Lordy me, Massa's upset about my puppet. That would be me. I would just go all the way in.
Now, this is the part that you're going to disagree with.
Okay.
Mr. Llewellyn set the puppet down and said he'll be painting his lips differently from now on.
What the fuck? Dude, stop being a... Oh, my God, I hate society. Everybody is such a fucking pussy.
I know.
This guy has no reason to do that. Because one bitch said she feels upset. Fuck you. Is she part of your audience? Then fuck her. Use her for what she is to expose your fucking product and fucking move on. I mean, dude, I fucking hate everybody now. Everybody.
Well, one Twitter follower said that guy walked on with those puppets before it went live on air. Why didn't Kate say something then if she was that offended?
Of course. Because she was playing it up to be the fucking moral justice queen.
Of course. That's kind of where I was going with that.
Yeah.
However, some questioned why Good Morning Britain would let Mr. Llewellyn on the stage in the first place with the controversial puppet.
Mm-hmm.
Many people looked to Twitter to defend Mr. Llewellyn over the black puppet and criticize the host for being overly sensitive.
Well, thank God we've got Twitter for them to have
Well, again, everything is based on social media now. Everything. I noticed that there are no real news stories out there anymore, and everything is, well, Twitter said.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Twitter said. Did Twitter really say that?
Yeah.
Twitter said.
Mm-hmm.
It is not clear if they understood that the doll appeared to be in blackface, which was what the hosts were objecting to, and not that Mr. Llewellyn had a black puppet.
Right.
The Punch and Judy doll discussion saw the entertainer, who was recently asked by a school, remove the violence from his Punch and Judy performance, defending the long-standing British puppet show. He was also asked to scrap a recent performance because it was due to take place next to a woman's refuge.
Are you kidding me?
Mr. Llewellyn told the program, people are reading way too much into this. Yes, Mr. Punch hits Judy. I'm not getting away from that, and he hits the baby, but it's puppets. It's just silly puppet show.
Yeah.
Mr. Punch is naughty. He's a bad person. He doesn't just hit Judy.
How is it that we were able to not beat our women to death for fucking 40 years of Tom and Jerry and fucking Bugs Bunny?
Right.
How is it that we grew up on that shit and didn't grow up to just beat our women to death? I mean, God knows they were fucking beating everybody up. Why is that okay?
Well, because we had more parental involvement at that time.
Oh. So now that the TV raises the kids, then
now it's a problem.
Now we got to police it better.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I was raised in a household where we watched Tom and Jerry and the Three Stooges of all things.
Yeah, of course.
You know, they're so violent. They're poking each other in the eye and they're bashing each other on the head.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Never once did I watch a Three Stooges say, you know what, I'm going to go out there and bash somebody on the head and poke them in the eye.
No. And you know what? I'm gonna stop this segment just for a second here to confront directly Deep Cut's thing in the thing about me having no human compassion. Bullshit. You don't have. There's a difference between having human compassion and caving into every fucking whim that there is. Everything that I do is just not caving into people's whims. That isn't having human compassion. I don't need to have compassion for people that are upset about anything. I don't need to have that. That's not a basic thing, is human compassion. This, to just accept what everybody does. You know what that is? That's called rolling over and being a pussy. And no, I don't have that. So that's all. I just wanted to address that quickly.
Well, that was Wolf Blitzer saying that.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, come on.
Thanks, Wolf.
Should I be more compassionate for this for the people that went to Twitter to say that this puppet is bad? Is that what I'm supposed to be? Well, looking at their plight, there could be some deep-seated hurt people are feeling because they see this puppet from 1662. So we have to play to their weaknesses. Shut up. God damn it.
Jimmy James, private message me. Let me know where I can get a puppet like that.
What do you mean get one? You probably have 6 of them.
I like that singing waiter doll. That's too funny.
Lordy be.
Right.
What kins I get you, massa? You want some jambalaya?
If anyone has watched this program from the start this morning, you've seen 2 clips, 15 seconds out of 45-minute show. Goddard said she thinks the show should be adapted and have a part where Mr. Punch hits Judy, his wife, and removed from the storyline.
Shut up.
If schools deem it unacceptable and bigger organizations feel uncomfortable with it for whatever reason, there is going to be a squeeze on this, she said.
Oh, brother. No one cares. The only time anybody cares is when it's brought up in the media.
Of course.
I mean, dude, how many conversations would you say that you have a week at work? 100?
Easily.
Does anybody come up to you and be honest? We're going to be into August, so
right.
We're 7 months down. How many conversations have started with, I was really offended by, fill in the blank?
None. Not a one.
No one is really this upset unless they want to be this upset. In the real world, people don't give a shit about any of this stuff. It's only when it's force-fed down everybody's throat and with the media, and then everybody goes to social media to fucking voice their opinion because they think it matters. Everybody fights about everything on fucking social media. Nobody talks. I was out last night with John, Stephanie, and AJ. 3 adults and me. And you know what? None of this bullshit came up. Not one goddamn word of this. You know why? Because real people don't care.
No, because you're white privileged people.
Well, that too, but thank God for that. Real people don't care about this shit. It's only when it's force-fed to the media and then social media stirs the pot.
Of course.
The only time it matters.
This is why everybody should get their Facebook page taken away.
Well, I'm slowly getting done with mine. I'm moving more. I don't know if you saw, I started a different social media just for the show because I know that our time is short for Facebook and Twitter.
Right.
You think that too, don't you?
Well, I don't run that, so I don't know how much, goes into that. But, I've never been a fan of Facebook ever. Mm-hmm. Not even from day one.
Yeah.
And, I know it exists, and I've made this comment or statement on the show many times. Mm-hmm. I believe that it has a place.
Sure.
For certain things. Mm-hmm. For the general populace, nobody needs a Facebook. Yeah. I get it for people who are entertainers or artists or, businesses perhaps. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, nobody needs a Facebook.
No. Well, dude, more and more I go to my personal Facebook less and less. I go on it maybe twice a day, which where I was at 300 times a day. For me to check it, usually about noon and then about, like 10, 11 o'clock at night, I'll take a look. But truthfully, even that anymore, when I go and look on it at night, it's not really looking to see if I can stir up some trouble or anything. It's really just checking on, the social media customers that I have. Seeing if I need to reply to anything on business type stuff or CMS type stuff or whatever. I never go on it anymore looking to say, hell, I wonder what my friends are doing anymore. I just don't do it. That day is done, man.